8 techniques to come out on top after an upheaval. Look, illness strikes, a loved one dies, the economy shifts, you lose your job. Let's face it, upheaval happens whether you're ready for it or not. For some people, they crumble at the first hint of disaster. Others somehow manage to still succeed even when things look their worst. Which are you? Using these 8 proven techniques, you'll come out on top every time. Give yourself a break. Why are you expecting so much of yourself right now? When in a crisis, recognize you're not going to have all the answers, at least not immediately. Sometimes just take a step back and acknowledge this is hard and confusing and cut yourself some slack. This will help you relax and actually start thinking. Anticipate fear. Just know that this is scary. Upheaval is all about sudden change, and you're going to find yourself floundering initially. Fear is reasonable in this kind of situation. It's what you do with this fear, which is what counts in the end. Remember, anticipating doesn't mean caving into your fear, but just acknowledging that it's there. Breathe. Now, before you do anything, just take a breath and let it out, slow. Then take another one. First reactions usually aren't the best ones, but sometimes just taking a breath and giving yourself a minute to figure out what to do, not to mention taking in a little oxygen so that you can think. It's okay to just breathe. Accept. Okay, this wasn't what you wanted. Rather than fight against the change caused by the crisis, try embracing it as an opportunity to learn from the situation and try to do things in a different way. Rewrite the narrative. This continues the idea from the last point. What words are you using to talk about the crisis? Is this a disaster or an unscheduled adventure? Look for a more positive way to redefine the situation. Drop the negativity. Speaking of positive, what's your self-talk right now? Don't get caught up in negativity here either. Instead of beating yourself up, praise yourself for your courage in facing the upheaval with a positive attitude. Practice change. Get used to the idea of doing things differently by practicing change in small and safe ways. Adjust how you do something every day, such as changing the route you drive on the way to work. This helps your brain to build flexibility and readies you for extensive changes necessary to handle the crises. Know that you've got this. Most important of all, remind yourself you've been through other disasters and survived. You're going to be just fine so long as you hang in there. Success, even in the wake of disaster, never happens by chance. It takes intentionality to come out on top. By learning these 8 techniques, you'll not only survive the upheaval, but you'll become one of those people who thrive on adversity.